So if there a little box or something gets on your screen often there, and then both Deborah and Michelle, your cameras are off, which again is fine if you're in your pajamas and you want to keep your cameras off, that's fine. But if you want to start them, the bottom right, bottom left of your laptop. And if it's a iPad, you usually have to tap the screen. Hi, Deborah. And Deborah, I'm made aware that we haven't chatted, and I don't know where the time is gone. So we'll have to find a second for that.
I can send you a text too.
Yeah, please do. I don't even know where the
Easier than making a phone call. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I apologize for that. Okay, and then I'm gonna spotlight. So that there should make me the big screen. And then I'm gonna mute everybody. And so because you're muted, that allows you on your end, if you want to, I mean, I love practicing with music, whether it's classical music or some sort of ambient music. Usually it's something that doesn't have a lot of rhythm to it. So feel free to do that if you would like. And I like doing that because it sort of, to Gail's point, she was just sharing that she was stuck in the DMV, and about an hour into her 2-hour sit, being stuck there, it dawned on her, why don't I do some Tai Chi? And then ended up having an hour and a half of practice that felt really good. And so when we practice with music, it's kind of nice because it's like a catalyst. If you have a little playlist or a CD or whatever it is, and you put it on and you start it, and it just kind of gets you in the mood of the practice. And so that can be a nice catalyst. So feel free to do that on your end if you have, like I said, music without words is really good, classical music of some kind, that kind of thing. And then go ahead and scoop forward to the front edge of your chair, hands resting on your thighs, finding this zhongjung, this vertical upright, this central pillar. And as I mentioned last couple of weeks, everybody agrees on this aspect of the practice, vertical pillar, right? No one is saying, no, you should have a torqued body and that's better. So training ourselves to have this vertical line is totally understood, agreed upon. But where the Taoist practice diverges in an important and unique way is Chun Wan and Ching Ling. So by now, hopefully those terms start to make sense. I'll explain them again. Chun Wan is the concept of relaxing and releasing and allowing a sinking quality, a settling quality through your body, through the chair, through your legs, down to the earth. So that is how we get our stability, not through tightening, holding, bracing, gripping, which is what most of us are doing before we start practicing this other way. So vertical pillar, zhongjung, and then Chun Wan, release and relax, sort of like you're just sloughing off or draining out whatever is held in your system. Now, if as you relax, you start to slouch, well, then you've lost the first rule, which is zhongjung. So then you got to apply a little effort, place everything in alignment, and then go back to this feeling of Chun Wan. And then Ching Ling is the result of doing those first two, of having alignment and releasing everything that can be released. Ching Ling means light, nimble, agile, lively, springy, right? All those things sound nice, right? So we have to release what is extra in the system. That grounds us. And then this feeling that's left over is a feeling of a little lighter, a little more agile. And then that is what we then move with. We move, like again, when you see someone doing Tai Chi and they have this fluid quality to them, it's because they don't have the density stuck in the system. They've emptied it out. So when you're doing sitting meditation, that can be all you need to consider. Zhong Zheng, Chunwan, and Qingling. Breathing helps. In through the nose, expanding and opening, and then out through the mouth, releasing and settling. Let's do that 8 times. Of course, you could spend 8 minutes doing this, but we'll just do 8 breaths. Relax. Relax correctly. You don't feel a slouching or a slumping. Interestingly, you feel a plumping and a buoyancy, a lightening of the load and a sort of levity in the body when you relax. This idea that relaxation is the opposite of constriction. It's kind of like dilation. The whole body dilates at every level. Every layer of tissue kind of separates from the one that it's being constricted to or glued to. They release, and there's a little more room within you. Now, first movement, slide hands back, elbows back, scapula or shoulder blades back, chest and chin up, arch your back, satisfyingly back bend. And then go the other way, slide the hands forward, hollow the front of the body, drop your head and round your back. And let's do it again. Slide your hands back, elbows back, scapula back, arching, look up, way up. And then exhale, hollowing the body, rounding. Do this 3-4 more times. Remember, as you get better and better at it and you can read your body, you'll notice you want to hold the position a little longer. Maybe you want to wiggle a little bit, work a little tight spot out, and then go to the next. Number 2, we're cultivating leisure. Leisure, one of my favorite parts of Taoist practice is they say leisure is a sort of prerequisite. We have to practice this enjoyment, this vacation quality. We got to cultivate that as a skill. I just love that. It's a very Eastern concept when you compare it to no pain, no gain, grind for it, really work, which again, there's some value in that, obviously, but let's go ahead back to the middle. But we also really are finding health, wellness, healing, rejuvenation requires no stress. Especially with Parkinson's, where the nervous system is really where so much of this is going haywire. Mastering your nervous system, clearing that nervous system. Let's go for the rotations. Left hand forward, right hand and elbow back, turn the shoulders, turn the head, and then switch. And switch. And just twist and twist. And notice one addition here, your quad, your groin area. So when you twist to your left, there's the opportunity to feel this right quad open up a little bit. So try not to let the knee fall in. Keep it kind of open. Turn. And then the same is true on the other side. When you're twisting to your right, you keep that left leg sort of where it is, and then you might even feel that little groin area, that quad open. There's special attention paid to that groin area, quad, hip, leg mechanism because it's a common place for stagnation, weakness, boundness, a lack of articulation. Last one each way. back to middle. And then side leaning, just soft, loose. Now, left wrist floats up in front of you. This allows you a little more room to flirt with disaster, almost like you're going to fall out of your chair. And then when you come back, get tall, 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 and then lean. Right wrist up so you can kind of flirt with the edge of the chair, and then up and lean. Couple more each way. As someone who's studied Western physiology and fitness, as well as yoga theory and philosophy, as well as Taoist, Eastern Chinese, Qigong, Tai Chi, that sort of thing, I'm always looking for unique insights, because there's often a lot of overlap and redundancy, but then I'm always looking for, where is there something that this says different than that, and which one is most useful? And this idea, go ahead and come back to the middle, of balance found not only by that Chun one that I was talking about, but also your middle found not by holding your middle, but by total freedom of movement of every part and structure, and then that opens up that space inside of us. So anywhere that we're stuck like this, we can't actually move from our middle. So we have to liberate every part of the body. Let's go for shoulder blades. Forward and up. Back and down. Under, forward and up. Over, back and down. Also, this emphasis on where is the correct position of whatever, in this case, the scapula. Where should I put my scapula? Where should they be held when I'm walking around? And this emphasis in Taoist practice is, don't worry about that. Instead, practice making sure they have total freedom of movement through the range of their motion, and then you can just relax, and they'll be exactly where they should be. Scapula back, up, over, and down. And so likely when you're doing this movement, you're running into or encountering your stuck places, your glue, your barnacles. You might feel more on the left than on the right, or vice versa. Right? You might feel it moving into the middle back and upper back. As you move here, you're loosening up all kinds of impediments. And so the practice is that of cleaning out what's there that is not helping. And settle, and then bend the elbows. Elbows out and way up. And with this one, really notice I'm lifting my chest and arching the back, emphasizing space. And then letting that space close. And then elbows together and squeeze. Closing in front to open the back. And then down and open, allow this spacious quality through the armpits where the lymph nodes collect. And down. And squeeze. And then the next one, we go elbows back. Right? Then down, forward. Way up, way up, way up, way up. And forward and down and back. And then down, forward and up. Way up. And then lastly, elbows out, one high, low, hug. And then elbows out, switch. And switch. One more. That should allow us to release, drop, let go. Scoot a little bit back, right knee up, right heel in, and then push. Back and down, left leg, load, push, load, down, right leg, load, push, left leg. And then right foot, point, flex, point, flex. And tilt the foot in, out, in. And then circle. Probably be a good idea, you know, those of you that want to have these practices, feel free to go ahead and switch circle. Feel free to get these videos, you know, use them, and also maybe take notes and write them out. Write out this little sequence so that you can practice almost memorizing the order of it. Go ahead, other leg now. Because then you're not stuck with time. Sometimes you're watching a video and I'm not doing as many reps as your body would want. Let's go ahead and tilt the foot in, out, in, out, and then circle. So the beauty of, like Gail was bringing up at the beginning, of having an hour and a half where you're going to practice, but you don't have a video to choose from. You have to sort of just feel your body and do what you want to do. You probably, you know, you get this freedom to explore exactly what it is your body is requesting. Scoot forward on your chair and step the feet a little wider there. And we're going to go swivels, spirals, internal and external rotation. So lift your toes, turn out, and then turn in. So you want your legs feet far enough apart, you have enough room to really internally rotate, and then externally rotate. Internal and external and internal and external. Back to neutral. And hands on your legs, hip hinge. Fold. As you fold, turn on the hands, elbows flare out and around. This just helps to wring out the shoulders, open up the middle back, and then sit upright. And then lean a little bit back. And then sit upright and fold. And sit upright. Lean back. And upright. And fold. Upright. Lean back. And upright. Now, arms loose, legs and hips open, slide your feet back, hip hinge. Pour your weight forward out of the chair and rise. All the way tall. Hip hinge. That's the first thing that has to happen. Butt goes back, shoulders and head are forward, everything's loose. And then you just fold the body up. The key is the weight stays down under the feet until I land my tush. And then when I shift back, now the weight's under the chair and the feet are more or less empty. And then I'm pouring the weight out of the chair. Now it goes down under the feet. So my feet and legs are my conduit all the way to standing, and then fold. Stay under the feet until the butt finds the chair, and then it's under the chair. One more time. And then don't sit in your chair, but sit as if. Sink low and use this to get fingers near the floor. Let it open your back. And then rock. And again, hip hinge and sing. One more time. And from standing, knees relaxed, hips open and loose, shoulders loose. Just notice that you do not need to grab the body, right? Instead, chun one, remember zhong zheng, vertical upright. And then chun one is relaxing and finding that, at first, when we let go of all this bracing that we're doing, it can feel less stable in the beginning. There's kind of a, whoa, there's like this a loss of what you were reliant upon. But as you practice more and more in this state, you start to find this is far more stable. And it has mobility to go along with it. So now from here, rising hands, just loose and relax. You just levitate those arms, just forward and up. And then that little change through the limb and then down. Just think hydraulics the whole time, that we're just trying to not use that tensing, forcing power system, which again has its place in certain contexts. There's a reason that we have a contractile tension-based system. It's there as like a backup protective system to protect joints and things like that. But it should not be our primary movement system. This should clearly be how we accomplish most everything that we do. Scoop the hands in front and just open. Big, wide open. And then the hands kind of switch. So this has that bird wing quality to it. The crane, open. And remember what I said about how do we cultivate our middle? It's by liberating and opening all ranges of movement around that middle. So that's why we want to be big. Not forceful big, but just with your mind, just be all the way to the tips of the fingers. And then let it come all the way close. One more. And embracing the moon. Wings. Now turn your right palm up. As that comes over top, left hand sweeps under, top and the bottom of a ball, and two magnets trap. Repel. Around. Think big, 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 big. That then resolves and comes together. And then goes big and around. And resolve and comes together. It's this Schwen quality. Schwen meaning like the river, or to have flow. And then both arms scoop up. Elbows back. Back. So this area is open. Turn your palms, fingertips facing forward, and push. Push. Full extend, and notice how I'm fully reaching, but what I'm not letting happen is myself be pulled forward. So I'm staying where I am and then creating freedom. You can see in my body this scapular movement and this opening that comes to my back, right? And then come around and let that resolve. So most exercises, if not all of them, I would think, have these sort of important moments. So this is all good, all good, all good, but often we'll stop here versus, no, go to that end. Find that looseness, that pliability in your back. That's where the real magic is, that sort of place that needs the work. And back. And again, push And then finish, go for that extra reach. And bring it back. Now, left hand turn forward and push. Let this turn you a little bit at your quad. Remember we opened our quad earlier a little bit when we were on the chair. So we want to allow this to open and turn a little bit. And then turn that hand to face the body, this hand forward and turn. So now this quad opens, the waist area turns a little bit. And then change the hand position and turn. Find that quad and back. And then turn. It happens here and here. Now, I've been getting into Latin dancing recently. My brother's been taking me to this great club in San Francisco. And I used to do it before, and I'm getting back into it. Salsa and bachata, it's really great. But a whole part of it is this mechanism, is this freedom of movement inside. And so Tai Chi is trying to have us find that exact mechanism, the inside mechanism. And then let's bring hands back and down. So now we've sort of turned that on. We've jump-started this internal mechanism. Now we add from that same middle mechanism, change the weight to the right leg, change the weight to the left leg. Ideally, if you notice, my heels are not leaving the ground, right? A lot of times people go this way and they come like this, especially when we add the turning, right? So now let's add this turn to the left. Notice how my heel has not left the ground. A lot of times people overturn and pull the heel. So if that happens, it's okay. But over time, try to keep the heels down as well, because something's got to give to allow for movement. And we want the qua and that Latin dance mechanism. We want that to be what starts to give, rather than, let's say, the knee joint or the pulling up of the foot. So the bear washing paws in the stream. Shifting, turning. When you're turned to your right, it's your left quad that has to release open. And then when you shift and turn to your left, you're closing the left quad, and the likelihood of that knee falling in is common. So we try to kind of keep it back there, keep the thigh stable and open right through that little groove there. And sweet. And then the bear swirls the stream. So that outside hand goes far away. And again, I'll turn sideways so you can see I'm casting it away, but not up. So away, that length. And just kind of picture my back tissue, how my back is having to become more pliable to allow that length. And then it gets to resolve itself and come in close. And then again, like I was saying about the money spot, the important spot, it's right there when it's far away, but you're still where you are. And it gets around and comes in close. So going slow enough to not skip those places. Go far away, feel that opportunity to loosen up where you're tied, and let it get around the circle. And again, far away. And then let's go for the bear swats the fish. So now it's lifting up a little. This hand is still down here doing brush knee, but it's the same idea. It's far away. And then comes in close, dips into the water as this one lifts. And then it's brush knee and swat the fish. That swatting arm is far away from the body as it can be without adding any tension. So it's got to be soft and long. Which again, in the beginning is a weird idea. how do I sort of try harder to do something without adding any tension? But eventually you start to realize, oh, that's actually the great way to do it, is you're loose, and then just with your mind, you say, okay, go far, far away, fingertips, and they do. The saying in Tai Chi is the E, or the mind, mobilizes the chi mobilizes the body. So loose, let's go for that higher jumping fish. Reach. And then reach. And when we start going for the higher jumping fish, you can straighten the legs a bit so you come up out of your crouch. And then you get to settle down into your crouch. And then come up out of the crouch, straight legs, but don't uproot yourself. And then settle down. Couple more. Let's go for that highest possible. Scrape the sky, turn the waist, settle. Reach, turn. One more each way. Now, as your right hand's coming down, let's all be on this side. Right hand, your right hand is dipped into the water, but it's to the left of the body. Wing, roll, fold. Now, shift, turn, bottom hand, brush knee, top hand is now extending, extending, extending. As the top hand keeps extending, the other arm wings. Left hand comes down into the water, right arm roll, fold. Now smooth. Shift and turn and brush and push. As your right hand extends, left arm wing, roll and fold. So those of you who've been doing it a while, hopefully this movement is something you're like, yeah, I know what we're doing. So then you start practicing more about these subtle qualities of Schwen, of Song. Schwen meaning like the river flows. Song meaning don't use even an ounce of force or tension. Have everything just be floating. Float. One more. Now, be over in your left leg, right foot a little bit empty, slide it behind you just a smidge with the foot turned out a bit. Change your weight into your right leg, right hand dips down. Bend left elbow point to the sky. And then this left foot should be empty such that you could touch the floor out in front of you, very light. 100, 0, ideally. Now, bring that left foot back, heels touching, toes turned out so your feet match each other on either side. Change the weight to your left leg, left hand descending, descending, descending as right elbow is bending, hand pointing up. And then right foot being empty could just lightly touch out in front of you. Golden rooster standing on one leg. Bring the right foot back, empty. Change the weight. As you're changing the weight, the hands exchange, ideally at the same time as the foot touches. Bring the left foot back, nothing changes in your frame. So the foot comes back, nothing changes. Then, as you change the weight, you're tracking all these changes together. So in terms of the brain and nervous system and body, this places a heavy load on exactly where we need to work it in terms of coordination, brain and nervous system health, right? It's not the same if I kind of go 1, K2, K3, K here, they there. That's like kind of chaotic. So that's the value of going, okay, right foot back, nothing's changed. And now I'm, with my brain and nervous system, coordinating, shifting weight, hand down, other hand up, and foot empty, and it floats and touches the floor. Bring the left foot back, nothing changes. That sets us up to now place that heavy load on the brain-body network. Shift and hand down and up and empty right foot and float it forward, touch. Bring the foot back, nothing changes. Everything changes. Like a transforming robot. Bring that foot back, nothing changes. And everything changes. Now, final challenge here. Stay in your left leg, right foot empty, lift it a little bit off the floor, and then toe touches back down. So level 1 would just be this. Level 2, this, right? Level 3 would be getting it all the way tucked sort of in and up, and then down. Again, go 100, getting all sturdy and strong. This training being light as a feather. Light as a feather. Made possible only by this being sturdy. Now switching, put that right foot back. It was light as a feather. Now it transforms into sturdy as a mountain. Settle into it. Let it have that grounded quality, that chunwon quality. And this has that chingling. Light and nimble. So again, level 1 is small lift, level 2 bigger lift, level 3 all the way. But lift and touch. And touch. And this is very revealing of what actually having 100 in one leg is. Because we might think we're doing it, but only when we're here can we go, oh, that's that burn that I have to work before that leg will get very stable. Wash your paws. Wash your paws the other way. Now, cloud hands, left hand sweeps the lake, becomes a cloud and rises. Cloud, lake, shift, turn, cloud across the sky, lake sweeping, cloud rains down, lake vaporing up. This foot is empty. Now we can go change leg, turn from the quad, turn from the waist. That gets us most of the way across. And then there's just a little bit of this release of the arms, letting them flow through, right? Because a lot of times people are leading with the arm too soon, doing the arms. So really get this feeling of we've created a frame, and then it's the shift that already moves them a bit. Then it's this turn of the quad that moves them across. And then at the end, it's this flowing through and letting them change. Same thing here. So everything in the frame stays as is, and it's the leg change, the turn in the quad, then the waist, then the hands. And leg change, waist turn, arms, hand. Let them go through. Let's add a challenge. Change, turn. Now you should have all your weight in that right leg at this point. As the hands are changing, bring your left foot in and out without any weight. Then let's go this way. Shift, turn, cloud, leg. As your hands are changing, that right foot, bring it in and out. Now, Gail, keep your right hand high there. Yeah. And then it's change, turn. We got cloud. We got lake. And then as they're changing, it goes left foot in, left foot out, right hand low, left hand high, and then and in, out, shift and turn. Bring that foot in, foot out, shift and turn. And then bring that left hand down, wash your paws, put right hand behind your back, left hand bottom of a ball. So it's here, here. And I'm turned. So here we're loaded up. Now the left hand goes forward with the thumb side leading. And then as we shift and turn, it carries it, carries it, carries it, carries it, carries it to this corner here. Turn the palm out, crane wing, down. Now we shift, turn, that sweeping of the leg. And then the hand gets in this low position. So right here in front of the hip. And then the most important part is that this, what's unique in this movement is that it goes forward. So it's going forward as you shift and turn. So it travels this unique path up to here. Turn the palm out, wing, shift and turn, sweep leg, bottom of ball. And then it goes forward from there, and then it's this shift and turn. So it's rising on this diagonal, diagonal, diagonal path. Palm turns out, shift and turn. Switching hands. So turn that hand, do a brush knee. This hand sweeps the leg. Put left hand behind, right hand down low, bottom of ball. Again, it goes forward, and then it's this shift and turn that does the flying diagonal. Turn the palm out, wing, lake, bottom of ball. So whenever we're learning this, it's kind of like square becomes the circle. So the square is going, okay, forward, okay, shift and turn. Make sure I get to this place. Then turn out. Square meaning there's sort of like corners. Down, then shift and turn. Eventually, though, it can start to have that schwen. It can just be shift, turn. And then you can just feel it's just this natural. So it's where we polish out the corners of the square. But one of the sayings is the circle has to contain the square. So we're not cutting those corners. We got to hit all the points. Or a better term than square might be connect the dots. So here's a dot. And then here's a dot going forward with the hand. Got to hit that point in space. And then it's got to hit this point in space. And then it's got to hit that point. And then sweep and hit all those points. One more. Boom. And then bring that left hand out, wash your palm. Back to center. Left hand bottom of ball, right hand top of ball. Palms stay facing each other as they go all the way here and all the way back. Now, turn that movement on the side. So now this is that flying diagonal we just did. And this does this opposing complementary movement like that. Together they pass. And they keep going and going and going and going. And there's that satisfying finish. And then turn left palm out, right palm up, embracing moon. Down, up. under, over. Now shift into the right leg, turn to the right. So now we're all loaded, we'll put it all together. As you're gonna do the flying diagonal, you're gonna do the down in here, and you're gonna shift and turn and coordinate it all together. Now turn the left palm out, right palm up, and shift and turn as you go. One down, one up, one under, one over. Gather the ball. Last person there wins. Shift and turn. So if you're already there, just notice that's the direction of your challenge, is to slow it down enough, because chances are it's doing this and then this and then this, and then it's quick and sort of yanking the body around to where you want to get it ridiculously slow so that you can reclaim that control of the brain, nervous system, and body. So it doesn't mean you have to be able to do it right away, but I want you to keep in mind that's where the challenge really is going to be. And the goal would be eventually to move so that you're sort of constantly moving, but moving super slow. One more. Just think the challenge on the brain, nervous system, and body is just like a charge being built by going slow. It looks like you're doing nothing, but at a certain, if you had a certain scan of the brain and body, it would be intense. Tai Chi can be intense. Now, we're going to switch, bring that hand down, wash, wash, settle. Right hand bottom, left hand top, and so first we did it parallel just to calibrate it. Now on the diagonal. And then let's go turn right palm out, left palm up, embrace moon. As you're embracing moon, shift left, turn left. And then all together, stroking wild horse's mane, shifting, turning. Turn those palms, one out, one up, shift and turn. Left hand high, right hand low. The ball. Shift and turn. Turn the palm. What's organizing it as you get more slow and calibrated is the middle. So that's the experience of having a middle, is that you're able to coordinate all this. The middle isn't somewhere we can grab onto. We have to cultivate it. And one more. Stroke wild horse's mane. Now, stay in your right leg, turn a little more, sweep left hand under, right hand over, make a ball. And then stay in your left leg, turn a little more, right hand under, left hand folds over, make the ball. Left hand under, right hand over, make the ball. Make the ball. Then that hand down, other hand turn, wash your paws as your way of coming back to settled. Where when we come to standing still, we're not holding the body at all. Instead, the body is one big, open, unimpeded network of chi and blood and electricity and interstitial fluids and awareness just flowing. And then wing, roll, fold over top, settle. Relax shoulders, elbows, wrists, and hands, palms facing at the belly. Cross hands. And again, from the top. Float. Little change. Yeah. A little behind you. Float. Unblocking pathways, polishing the chaos out of the system with softness, with relaxation, as I said, with leisure. Hands scoop in front, wings. Really think of this like the ideal internal state of being tropical island, pina colada in hand, perfect weather, no problems back at home, everything's handled, and you just got nothing but time. Let's go right hand over, left hand under. We have to reclaim that state, even if our life does have issues, which whose doesn't? Internally, we can cultivate patience, contentment, enjoyment as a sort of medicine. Medicine that needs to be made, needs to be cultivated. Down. Hands up and push and draw twice. So this little series, although it's beginning Tai Chi, it's a very thorough series. Let's go ahead and push the left and push the right. It's thorough in the sense that it hits all the points. It gets to all of our mechanisms, which is really the whole goal anyway. The most practical application of Tai Chi is, do you have any mechanisms that aren't integrated and working right? Well, let's get them integrated and working right. And down. Wash your paws. Keep doing that. Sorry, I lost the flow here. Okay, just keep doing it. Did you break your flow? No, no, no. Swirl the stream. Far away. Bring it in close. And again, the more you practice, the more you'll find you get all that range. And you go, oh, there's less barnacles. There's less pain and more clearing, more flow. Let's go. The bear swats the jumping fish. The higher jumping fish. The highest possible angle where you reach up, legs are straight, but you don't uproot yourself. And then you just settle through the body, settle through the body. And then from that settled position, you go tall, straight, reach, and down. One more of those to each side. This one's so important to just create that dynamic tension of down and up, and then find that turn inside of it. And again, way up and turn. And then let's go brushing and push, that more sophisticated use of the mechanism. Brush, push, long, 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 get around. Don't cut that corner, and long, 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 long. And stored. And then from stored, it can express. When it reaches full expression, we have to let go, let it get around, restoring it, and then now, golden rooster, footsteps a little behind, change the weight. The weight in your back leg, that hand low, the other foot empty, that hand high. Level 1, step back, change. Feel free to stay with this level 1 foot touching the floor, or go to level 2, 3, where we're going a little bit of a lift or more. Down. Change, and wow. Golden rooster. Change. Golden rooster. Down. Golden rooster, and wash your paws one time, right into cloud hands. Lake, vapor, and cloud lake. Right foot being empty, slides in, hands change, slides out, shift, turn. Hands change as the foot comes in and out, and wow. Remember what I said before, the arms don't lead. The leg, the hips and waist, and then so you get that satisfying thing you're looking for in terms of flow, but it has to have this organization to produce the results you want. Otherwise, it starts getting sloppy. So really think leg, then quad, then waist, then arms, then hands. Now make a ball. Stroke wild horse's mane. Turn the hands. Let's do 2 in this variation. And then switching sides, going 2 in that other variation. 1. Embrace moon, so turn the palms. And again. And then 2 each where we gather, issue it, relax, gather, issue it, relax, gather, express. One more, release, gather, express. Make the ball one more time. Then left hand out, right hand turns. Wash your paws. Remember again, the goal of this one is to settle, arms loose, settle. And then a little bit extra into your heels, open and lift. A little bit into your toes. Sweep around, out in front, right about mouth level, palms face up. Then hands coming back in as if bringing something in this upper level as you go to your heels a little. And then settle to the middle of the feet, hands settle to the belly, and then remember the Tai Chi squat that we did. Elbows come a little forward as you hollow the body, and then just stand. Loose. Push through the earth and stand. We do that again. A little rock to the heels, open, lift, right? So see how open that quality is there. Then rock to the toes, and this idea of closing in front, which opens the back even more. Go to the heels, the hands come in. It's kind of like an opening up top in the front and a settle. And then a hollow. That prepares you to just go. And then push through earth and stand. Last one like that. Back, open, and lift. That's one fluid gesture. Forward, closing in front. Back, hands coming in and settling. That's one fluid gesture. And then a hollow in. Clears out any places of loops, tangles, eddies in the system. And then we wing, roll, fold, settle, 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 settle. And seal. One hand over belly, other hand over that hand. If possible, close the eyes. Totally settle the brain, the nerves. Just like a perfect nap or a perfect night of sleep where there's just no activity. That's the term Wu Ji, literally means no activity. So think of that as a sacred technique. That's difficult to actually zero out. And we close with the little hand position representing the pivot of yin and yang. So life is ups and downs, forwards and backs, ins and outs. And the idea is that we want to cultivate that middle pivot. So we go here, here, creates this sort of yin yang looking symbol. So thank you, everybody. And have a seat in your chair. Make sure you know where your chair is when you try to sit. If there are any questions, comments, or anything.
Thank you.
Thank you.